Maxim, we recorded over 500 videos. What were the biggest changes that you observed?
Well, actually, I wouldn't call them like a really biggest. I would call them more like a significant because at certain point of time, yes, like a 500 seems to be quite a big number. Like I don't really know like anyone who recorded that. I mean, besides of you and other students, apparently it also feels like okay, it's moving forward. It's just like a number. So it gave me the thought that like whatever you're doing, yes, you might be feeling wow, this is so cool when you're starting like at 100, but the moment you grow it just becomes a number because you see like there is like a path lying ahead of you. So it might be more like the significance of the contribution, and you do understand that there is so much more to do, so much more to learn. Like I don't trying to be poetic or whatever, but really it's just like feeling that it's just like getting started.
Are there any major lessons learned from the doing postcards?
Okay, that's a good one. I would say one of the major lesson, maybe I already spoke about this one, but it's always be ready for anything because even for now, like I'm actually currently on the backup internet connection. That means you should be ready to anything to be happen even during the video or like during the questions because at certain point of time it happened today. I don't know like if you notice or not. Sometimes when we speak, I would listen to and actually I would forget what I was about to ask, and then the brain like trying just to find really the answer real quick. And maybe it gives me to another point. I do remember you said that at certain point of time when you look at the world you also have like a mental pockets, so just like trying to put the stuff there in advance, so the moment you need something it's like a cache, like we speak about IT, you just like put it out there, and you just don't really like understand how it happens, but it just like goes out. I don't know how smooth it is, I do believe it's not, but that's the major lesson learned, like have a backup and have like a cached things.
Let's talk about the skills that we are discussing. Were there any insights or changes in point of view?
Quite a few, to be honest. What I kind of noticed, and I wish I would learn this like a way earlier, like even in the school, because the main observation is like everything is connected. The moment you, let's say, like you learn about games theory, or like you learn about law, you actually realize they very well connected. It only depends on your point of view, and the moment you hear or see something that someone shares, you realize that like it could be like a multiple layers. And maybe second thing that I would say I observe is that your point of view is not that important. You also need to think about like how other people with a who are wearing different hats actually would think about this. This is super hard because like it's we I would say by the nature as a humans we're quite selfish. So it's really hard to just like walk in someone else's shoes.
Maxim, are there any postcards that you think we should record again?
Not really, but what I kind of think is better not to re-record it, but maybe make like some sort of like advanced version. Again, like because like life's moves into a different direction. So sometimes I do believe I would ask a different questions and in a different way. And maybe to be honest, sometimes I would try to ask more or less like a tricky questions. Again, it's not a challenge, but I'm trying to like get to I don't know answer. I know I would probably not gonna get it, but maybe this is what probably defines the advancement, like you're trying to just like push the bar like higher and higher.
Do you have a measurement of whether the recording of each postcard was successful or not?
Apparently I do. So I would say if there is like any question that I would feel okay, it actually lead to a different discussion or like lead to a different point of view or maybe lead to a different conclusion, I would say okay, it's like a one score. Then another thing that I was actually trying to do, like at the beginning, I would say way more selfish. I was just trying to think that personally would be interesting to me, but then I was thinking, okay, like what about people who are actually watching this, like whether they will find this entertaining, funny, like insightful. So if I feel like okay, I have like a certain tick marks, I have a piece of paper here, so if I feel like okay, this, if I would be watching this for the first time and I would be get the understanding of the idea, okay, it's a check. That means like someone would understand and maybe it could help to improve their life. Another thing is more like okay, is also trying to keep it more like engaging, maybe even from the humor point of view, because at the end of the day, it's also about, like having fun. Of course, like it should be over the science, over the discussion, but overall it's about smiles. And I do remember like always, like I'm trying to keep like a stone face. And usually at the end of it, I'm actually trying to remember thanks to you as well, like just that you just need a simple smile.
Great, thank you. Sometimes we discuss skills that may seem awkward or redundant from the side. What do you think about it?
I would say yes. From the side, it definitely would look like awkward, and someone may even tell like, "Hey guys, why do you even talk about this? Like collecting, like postcards, or like learning a different types of the philosophy." But apparently, again, like it's related to your previous question. It's like interleaving. When you know, I would say like about the Roman history. When you know about the surgery, you might be using it like in a product management. You might be using it in the business. It's similar mechanics, maybe similar mindset, only the field, the tools, and the actors are changing. So no, there is no like a redundant skills.
Hmm. Where do you think you will be when recording a video about 600 videos or podcasts?
Mm, I would say it's not really where, it's more like moving towards something. For me, it seems, probably never, apparently, sadly and happily, it's like a never-ending journey. I would put it like this. I will be in the position to maybe ask a bit more trickier questions. That's my goal.
Sometimes there might be different comments. How do you read them?
Mm, Well, okay, maybe from one point of view, yes, it could be like very sensitive, like to whatever topics, because people would have like a different opinion. But again, like at the end of the day, everyone is, like can share what they think. But apparently, if you do want to, like design your life, it's better to actually be a good guard of it. It's more about thinking in advance of it, like what do you say, what do you do, but again, have like a, person boundaries or whatever. Otherwise, like if you let everyone, like share the table and you let everyone to do anything, you will end up with a quite dirty table with some smells, and you probably will leave it too.
Smart enough. Do you keep a list of podcasts recorded?
Yes, I do. So it's actually at the beginning, I was using it just, like make sure that we do have like everything in tabs. Later one, I was actually trying to using the gradient coloring. So it's actually funny now, given that it's already like 500 for me, and I know for you it's like a all way over more than few thousands. I would say it's like a closing to 9. If you scroll up, the color is like first it was like changing fast because like it was from red to green, vice versa, green to red. Now it's actually you have to scroll maybe like a couple of screens and you think, wow, okay, like if you put like some event into your calendar and you do it over and over again, you will see like you will have to scroll. Probably it could be also applied to life.
And last one about our process, probably this one for our listeners. Do you share with me what we will recording each time?
Never. And I actually find it quite fascinating. I mean, like I'm being truly honest here because the moment there is a topic, we just like immediately start discussing. And again, I feel it's more about just like observation of the world. So as a human, we always should be like a curious, and we always will have to say something regardless. That means we need to form our points in advance, and this is what I'm always exciting because I feel like, okay, maybe like this one, for example, it was like a gumophilia, like when you like to collect all of this, like a stickers, like okay, like how to like whether it will be like a pause or delay, but apparently it was not.
Maxim, thank you so much. And let's meet on another journey close to the 600 podcast. Thank you from me and from our listeners.
Thank you very much.